Welcome back! For those of you who don't know me yet, hi, I'm Marel, and today I'm going to be doing a full face of makeup. So, right from primer all the way to setting spray, and this is the look that I'm going to be recreating. I look really shiny, but like I love that eyeshadow. You're gonna see. Stay until the end. If you guys haven't already checked out my video from last week, please go have a look at that one. And let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment, leave some feedback. Let me know what you think about my videos. If there's something you want me to try, if there's something you want to see me attempt, let me know. Also, don't forget to, I believe like is here and subscribe is here. If I have this wrong, just like and subscribe. And don't forget to ring the little bell so you get notifications of when I upload videos. So if you're here for makeup, keep watching. If you're here just to have a good time, keep watching. But I also want to encourage you to check out my music playlist that I'll try to link down below somewhere and also tag it to the end of this video. So I hope you like my music, I hope you like my makeup, and I have some more interesting videos coming up. So stay tuned, and I'm gonna see you in the transition. Okay, bye! Okay, you guys, so here's me just with my bare face, and yeah, I'm gonna start off with my favorite lip balm. This is the Bioscreen Ginkolium. It was recommended to me by my dermatologist, and this has saved my life. I've suffered with chapped lips. I think I've mentioned this before for the longest time, and that really helps me. I use that every single night. So now I'm going in with the NYX primer. I'm going to have all of these listed in the description box below. So if you want to know what I'm using, it's all going to be listed down below. So I'm just using this primer and dancing a little bit. I think you all know what move that was. I'm pretty sure if you know what song that is, leave it in the comments. Everyone knows this by now. I did a cover on it too, so check that out as well. I'll have all of this linked somewhere in this video as well. So anyway, I'm just going in with that primer, smoothening, is that a word? Smoothening it out all over my face, giving myself a little massage along the way. I'm not doing that just for fun, actually that really helps your face when you're prepping for makeup. So yeah, I'm also letting that set on my skin. You don't want to go instantly with foundation after primer because it's still slippery. So wait for it to dry before you ever go in with foundation. So I normally do my foundation towards the end. So here now I'm just going in with my concealer. This is Maybelline Age Rewind, and I'm just putting a little bit on my eyelids. It's very difficult for me to find a good shade match, so I always use a little bit of this product, and it's gonna get covered anyway, so I'm not too concerned about how it's gonna show up. So yeah, just once your primer's set, I'm going in with my concealer. This is in medium, and you can tell that it looks a little too gray for my skin because it's a little light. Until I find the perfect shade, this is all I have. If you have a concealer that's perfectly suited to your skin, please go ahead and use that. Don't let yourself look ghostly. So I'm gonna now use the same concealer to spot correct. I do not use any different types of correctors on my skin. I don't know if those work, but at the moment this works for me. So don't go in directly with your applicator onto your skin because you don't want to contaminate your applicator, acne, bacteria, oils. So I put it on the back of my hand, and then I'm just using my finger to tap it into place only on the spots that I want it on my skin, not everywhere. Okay, so now that that's done, this is the Tati palette. If you have not tried this palette, well, you can't actually test it in any store. You have to purchase it. So this was something I gifted to myself last year on my birthday. So yeah, those were the colors I'm just gonna go in for my eye look today. Very pinky, and I'm using some of the brown shades as well in my crease. And this is just a dance break. Excuse me. While I jam out a little. If anyone's wondering, I'm listening to BTS always, as always. It's really good to listen to something you like while you do your makeup, you know, inspiration, why not? So here I'm going in with the deep brown shade from the palette, and I am using that in the crease of my eyes. Just in case anyone actually has the palette, I'm going to mention what shades I'm using. So this is Matte Ritual, and I'm using it in my crease to deepen up that area, and then you just gotta keep blending. So if I keep looking back and forth, that's because I'm using the mirror on the Tati palette as well as my laptop screen and everything else. So excuse me if I'm looking around a lot, but yeah, here's me panicking because I just sort of destroyed one of the shades in the palette, and the shadow went everywhere, all over my table, all over my laptop, and it was getting worse the more I tried to wipe it away. So I dug my nail into the metallic poet shade. Anyway, now that I fixed that, I'm gonna just use my fingers to do the rest of my eyes. If you watched my previous video, you know that I like to do my eyeshadow with my fingers. It's the best medium and you don't have to wash brushes later. So here I'm going in with Matte Aura all over my lids. This is the best pale white eyeshadow I've found. And I know, again, it looks kind of gray and pale, but that's gonna get covered up. The reason I like to use the shade under other shades is because it just makes the colors pop. If I used the other shades in the palette directly on my lids, it might not pop as much. Okay, I'm now going in with Matte Story, and I'm just going over my crease, what I've done with Ritual, and I'm just blending and blending and blending. At this step here, I've now picked up Matte Poet. This is the pink shade from the palette, and I'm once again going over the same region, over the crease, sticking to the outer V, outer third of my eye, and just blending that up, building the intensity as much as I need to ensure that I look good. And you can see me step back and look and laugh at myself for a little bit, but it's important to do that just to see how it's looking. All right, anyway, so I've now picked up the Metallic Poet shade from the palette, and I'm putting that now onto the rest of my lid space. So everywhere I did not use the crease shade, so that's the center of my lids. And I'm also taking it a little bit into the inner corners, but not too much. I'm trying to stay within the middle section of my eyelids. Someone explain why I pout every time I stop. What do I why do I pout like that? So strange. Okay, I've now grabbed what do you call these brushes? The pencil brush? A detailed brush? Detailer brush, there we go. I'm using the detailer brush, and I'm using Metallic Aura just in the very inner corner of my eyes. And I realized this brush wasn't working too well for this shade, so I dropped the brush and yeah, started using my fingers instead. When you wanna do something with metallics or glitters, it's best to use your fingers because the brushes don't pick enough and you just have better payoff with your fingers. Okay, more singing. What am I doing next, Morel? Alright, I'm going in with the glitter shade from the Poet line, and I'm just gonna tap it onto my lid. Do not rub glitters. You want to gently pat and tap along your eyelids wherever you want it to be. Yes, I love that shade is what I was trying to say there. But yeah, be very careful with such glitters. You don't want them to go into your eyes. You don't want the glitters to fall into your eyes because it could cut your eyes. These are kind of sharp, the particles, so don't let it fall into your eyes. If it does, don't panic. Be gentle when you try to take it out. But yeah, just be careful in this step. Also, it's something you want to do towards the very end. Like, you don't want to go in and start messing around with your crease at this point. You can touch up, but don't be aggressively blending your crease after you add the glitter topper. So I'm just cleaning up my fingers now so that I don't get eyeshadow all over my clothes, which I have done in the past. So if you're using your fingers, remember to wipe it down, okay? So I'm going back with that detailer brush now, and I'm just trying to deepen up the very, very outer V. So I've picked up Ritual and Poet, and I'm going back and forth with those two shades just to build it up to the intensity that I want. And if you don't like dark smoky eyes, you want to keep it light, that's completely fine. But this is what I like to do. In fact, I even tried picking up the Matte Memory shade, which is the black shade in the palette, to make it even darker. But I didn't like how that looked. It kind of looked very gray. and dull against that pink. So I just went back over that with Ritual and Poet matte shades just to, I guess, eliminate that black shade that I picked. I wasn't happy with that. I guess that's another thing I can add. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. You can always correct them by going over the shades and erasing that. So as I showed you here, I picked up the matte Soothe shade. This is a light peachy brown shade from the palette, and I'm using that just to blend out the very edges of this look. You can see that it's no longer harsh. On the other side of my eye, it's really harsh. That's what I'm trying to say here. Yeah, super harsh. So you just want to use a fluffy brush to just blend out the edges so that it's not as harsh and it looks nice and blended, like a smooth canvas, a sunset painting. Blend in all the colors. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. It's really hard to do these voiceovers. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Did you prefer my older video format where I'm just speaking to you as I apply the makeup? Or is this voiceover better? Because I really don't know anymore. I don't know what to say sometimes. Alright, anyway, in that shot I have just taken Metallic Aura and I'm using it to just highlight my brow bone. So at the very tip of my brows, I'm just going in with that to, I guess, add some highlight, because why not, right? Everyone likes to be shiny, I think. So once again, I'm going in with Ritual and Poet, and I'm going to now use it on my lower lash line. There we go, lower lash line. Just blending that out on my lower lash line. And I'm waiting to just let this blend out, I guess. So I'm going back and just deepening up the edge of that with some more Ritual and Poet and just trying to connect it up to my crease eyeshadow just to make it look nice and blended. Blending is key, you guys. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of time, but you gotta get it done. Here I'm going back in with Metallic Aura and I am trying to brighten up my inner lower lash line. That's a mouthful. Inner lower lash line. Trying to brighten up that area. I noticed that I went a little too far with that, so I just wiped that down a little. Alright, I think the eyes are done, and I'm now moving on to my face. Welcome to my go-to daily foundation. This is the one that I would even wear to campus if I wanted to look presented, or for presentations actually. So that's in the shade Honey. This is the Wet n Wild Cushion Foundation, and it is amazing. So I'm just grabbing that with the brush that it comes with. I know a lot of people are not a fan of that sponge or whatever, but yeah, girl's gotta use what she has, okay? So I'm making use of it. I keep it. And I feel like it does do a good job in blending out the foundation. So I'm just picking it up and then tapping it into my skin. So I'm using a tap and swipe motion, like gentle taps, swiping it all over my skin. And yeah, that's basically what I'm doing. Do that all over your face until you cover up all those acne scars. Another thing that I really like about this foundation is that you can actually put this on top of powders. So if you're familiar with makeup, you should never put liquids on top of powders. But with this foundation, you can actually do that. You can actually lay this on top of a powder and it works well. So I'm going in with my Real Techniques sponge here and just going on top of the foundation because I don't want myself to look cakey, and that's a great tip. That's a great tip if you want to make your foundation look a little bit more blended. So once you're done with your foundation, go in with a damp sponge like that and just tap over it to get rid of excess makeup and oils and everything. It just looks more put together. Here's my setting powder. I'm going to go in with the Rimmel Stay Matte. This is the translucent shade, if you want to call it a shade. And I'm just going to use this all over my face. Just using a very nice fluffy blending brush, and I'm just going all over my face with that to set what I just applied. And I don't want to get copyright here, but here's me enjoying a beautiful song. You know, I think I'm a dancer sometimes, but only when no one's watching. Yep, welcome to my dance tutorial. Oh my god. Anyway, it's just what I'm listening to. Anyone else? Anyone else like to do that when you're doing your makeup? Just jam out to music. All right, so those are my two favorite highlighters. One is the Maybelline Beautiful Highlighter, and I was unable to get it to open. So I moved on to the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. If you own Physicians Formula, or you can visit a Physicians Formula store, please go smell their products. I don't know why, but everything smells delicious. I want to eat that. And the texture is so soft and creamy, and it's a powder. It literally turns to powder. Some sort of magic. It's amazing. Look at that. Look, look at that. All right, it speaks for itself. So I'm gonna go and use my fingers again. Remember to wipe your finger. Okay, I apologize for that. I was trying to sniff the highlighter. But anyway, remember to wipe your fingers after you did your eyeshadow and then pick up that highlight, because it has happened where I've smeared black all over my cheeks. Don't do that. Please learn from my mistake. All right, so once you're done admiring your highlight and how cool it looks on your face, blend it on the high points of your cheek. I like to drag mine up to my temples a little bit, and then I also like to go in with it on my brow bone, just at the tips. You know, we've already highlighted that, so you don't really need to. Another trick that I learned from my time watching the makeup community, I guess, dab the highlighter on the very tip of your nose and on the bridge of your nose as well. It just adds a little bit of pop. I also like to tap a little bit onto my upper lip, just the slightest bit. And that's gonna mostly get covered with lipstick, but it just adds a nice pop again. So here is the Body Shop lipstick. I'm gonna list all these product names before, because there's no way I can remember all of them right now. And admire yourself some more. So just use that lipstick everywhere, and I'm moving back into my eyes now. I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible Gel Pot. But before I do that, I'm gonna set my face. So I'm just using my, again, L'Oreal Infallible setting spray to set my face, and I'm using the cover of the Tati palette to blow all over my face and dry that setting spray up. For those of you who don't understand why you need a setting spray, it really helps to pull everything together. So after applying that powder, it can look kind of cakey, so you just want to reduce that cake with the setting spray. What I also like to do is, once the setting spray is almost semi-dry, I like to go back with my sponge and once again tap all over my face to pick up any excess powder or oils from my face. Just gives a more flawless look to your skin. An additional step, but you know, hey, if it makes you look good, go ahead and do it. All right, let's move on to eyeliner. I'm doing my traditional famous feline flick. I explained how I do this in my previous video, so again, do check that out. But I'm following the same technique and I'm working on my eyes here now today. And if you realize, I went a little thicker than my last video just to show you guys how that looks for me. I'm not the biggest fan of it because, like I said in my last video, my lid space is really tiny. So if I go in with a thick eyeliner, you don't see anything of my lids anymore. It's all black. But just to show you how that looks, I'm gonna do a thick line today. So just follow the tips I mentioned and just make sure that everything looks nice, and you can stop, step back, look at how it looks. Make sure that the end point of your wing is at an angle, you know, tilting up towards the end of your eyebrow. I feel like that's the best position for me to use my eyeliner tip. But if you have a different eye shape, maybe you have a different way you like to do your eyeliner, go ahead and do that. There's no reason to follow this exactly to the T. I think I messed up there a little bit, so I was just trying to fix the thing that I did, and I'm just trying to make sure that everything looks even and put together. So I'm looking into my mirror from different sides and it's looking pretty good. So take what's left on your eyeliner brush, and you can also pick up some more product if you want, and just use that on the lower lash line. I'm not putting that into my waterline, it's just going into my lower lash line just to define it a little bit. Now I'm going in with my best friend for my eyes, my Lash Paradise mascara. This tube is almost dried up. I'm probably gonna have to open a new one, but I this would probably be my 5th or 6th tube of this mascara. It is so good. So yeah, just use whatever mascara that you like, whatever works for you. I need to realize how to stop pouting. Why do I do that? I didn't realize I do that. This is so strange. Okay, Morel, in the next video, please don't pout as much. Reminder to self. Okay. Does anyone else's eyes start watering when you do mascara? Like, I've noticed, because I have to keep my eyes open and blink so much, my eyes get really teary and watery. Anyway, so keep going with that. I'm now moving on to my lower lashes. If you can see, the way I do my lower lashes is I like to use the very tip of the brush. I do use the center for the center of my lash line, but I also use the very tips to make sure that all of the little lash hair is nice and separated and looking fluttery and like butterflies. So I'm gonna complete my lip look now. I'm looking for my Give Me Mocha from Wet n Wild. I like to top this color with that shade because it just helps neutralize things and not look so intense. If you have your eye look like really nice and bold, you might want to keep your lip look a little more subtle so it doesn't look overpowering. Again, you can do whatever you want, to be honest. Just do whatever you like. But for me, if I'm doing a really, really bold eye, I like to sometimes keep a simple lip look. So now I'm just taking my fluffy brush one more time and I'm just fluffing up my face, getting rid of any excess thing. This is the finished look. Wow, look at that. Look at my hair. It looks incredible, doesn't it? Wow. No, I'm just kidding. This is the finished look right here. Me trying to pose and look all fancy. But yeah, this here is the finished look. I really hope you guys like this and you enjoy my makeup. I felt for some reason that I wasn't shining enough, so I decided to add some more highlight to the end. Why not, right? I probably regret it at the end and have to tone it down a little bit because I'll look like a disco ball, but there you go. And yeah, sometimes my hair does strange things, so I'm just fixing that. Anyway, you guys, thank you for sticking out till the end. If you're still watching, I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. I hope you've learned something or picked up a few things along the way during this video, and I do hope that you tune back in when I post my next video. All right then.